Hello there. Welcome to Just the Discs. My name is Brian, and we talk about Blu-rays here. And for this video, I am going to talk about some new Warner Archive Blu-rays. These will be for the month of April 2021, and it's a good round of titles. And I don't even have all of them represented here. There's at least one, Each Dawn I Die, that I don't have yet that I definitely want to check out and talk about and pair. And yeah, that's what I'll be doing here. I'll show you the movie that's coming out, the new one, and then maybe a couple things that could go with it, like we do on Pure Cinema. So let's start with my favorite of the bunch, right out of the gate, Quick Change from 1990. This one from director Howard Franklin, who worked with Bill Murray on a little movie called Larger Than Life. I feel like they did some other stuff together too, but I like Howard Franklin quite a bit. He also did a movie called The Public Eye, which is really solid, which kind of has to do with my pairing a little bit, honestly. Actually, anyway, but Quick Change. So this is a really fantastic, underrated caper comedy. I think I said from 1990, and you can see the whole cast there: Bill Murray, Gina Davis, Randy Quaid, Jason Robards, Stanley Tucci, Tony Shalhoub. There's a ton of other little bits and, cameo parts. Chris Elliott's dad is in here, and he's hilarious, and that's Bob Elliott. Anyway, so it's a bank robbery comedy. I'm just wondering how much they give away. Well, let's just say that there's a robbery, and they're trying to get out of town with the money, and they cannot do it. They just can't seem to get out of town. And it's very much like another movie that I'm going to pair it with. In fact, I'll just bring that up right now, and that would be After Hours, which, of course, this is DVD only at the moment, but I'm pretty sure there's a Blu-ray coming. I feel like it was already even announced or hinted at, but I'm still waiting on the announcement, the official details. But anyway, these two definitely feel like they're in the same universe. If you like this, you'll probably like Quick Change, and vice versa. This is one of my favorite comedies of all time, so obviously I like it a bit more even than Quick Change. But in terms of, guy lost in New York and nothing will go his way kind of thing, both of these movies have that element to them. After Hours, a little more stylized, but interestingly, After Hours, Martin Scorsese, obviously, shot by Michael Ballhaus. This is Howard Franklin, shot by Michael Chapman, who, of course, shot Taxi Driver and Raging Bull and The Last Detail and some other stuff. So I just like, you have Michael Chapman shooting New York again after Taxi Driver and in Raging Bull as well, So he's shooting New York. It looks different, but it's still, a good-looking movie, and the transfer looks great. Always with these Warner Archive Blu-rays, it's never let down in terms of the transfers. His costume, his clown outfit really pops. And anyway, just rewatched this again tonight, and it's still great. Still holds up really well, and I'm just happy to have it. It's another one like Pump Up the Volume, where I'm like, yes, I've just been waiting to get this on Blu-ray. I'm so excited to have it finally on Blu-ray, and I wish there were some extras. I wish there was even just like a Howard Franklin commentary, but no such luck, unfortunately. But anyway, still happy to have it. So I said After Hours could go with it, and then the other one I think is Mad Dog and Glory, actually. It's another sort of, it's a less, it's comedic, Bill Murray, but it's a little more dramatic, and it's a little different. It's like, what does it say? Bill Murray and Uma Thurman and Robert De Niro team up in this wildly offbeat action comedy that proves when trouble comes, anything goes. When shy, soft-spoken Chicago detective Wayne Mad Dog Doby De Niro inadvertently saves the life of a local gangster, Frank Milo, Bill Murray, he's the reluctant recipient of an unusual one-week thank you gift, a beautiful bartender named Glory, Uma Thurman. Before the week is out, the two have fallen madly in love, making for a murderous showdown with Milo. So he basically has this girl that's, I can't remember if she works at a place where he works or her brother owes money, but she's going to do Frank Milo the favor and go over and stay with De Niro's character, and he's initially put off by it, and she's initially kind of, not excited about the whole proposition, rightfully so, and then things turn a little bit, but then Milo, Bill Murray's character, is still into her, and so it gets complicated. But I really like this movie, and I do think it's an offbeat Bill Murray performance and a great De Niro and Uma performance. I don't know. I somehow I feel like it goes together. It's not as wild and crazy, and it's not one night like Quick Change, but I still feel like it works. All right, next up, Dr. X. This is from 1932, I believe. And this is, I'll just jump right into the pairing right away. This is going to go perfectly with your Mystery of the Wax Museum disc, because this is the 2021 equivalent of this in terms of, it's a 2-strip Technicolor movie. It's beautifully restored in conjunction with UCLA Film and Television Archive. It is directed by Michael Curtiz. In fact, Dr. X is the first one. Dr. X is the movie that comes out that is a big hit, and it has them wanting to come up with something else to do, and they come up with Mystery of the Wax Museum for the next movie. But Dr. X is the first, and so it's interesting always to watch the second one first. Like, I'd seen Dr. X, but seeing both of these again on Blu-ray is like seeing them for the first time because they're so beautiful. But yeah, this looks gorgeous, and it's it says, "Is there a mad doctor in the house?" "Yes," shrieks Dr. X. Filmed in rare 2-strip Technicolor, an eminent scientist aims to solve a murder spree by recreating the crimes in a lab filled with all the dials, gizmos, bubbling beakers, and crackling electrostatic charges essential to the genre. Lionel Atwill is Dr. Xavier, pre-King Kong. Scream Queen Fay Wray is a distressed damsel, and Lee Tracy snaps newshound Patter, all under the direction of the renowned Michael Curtiz. So, yeah, this is pretty cool because I'm a big fan of Lee Tracy as well, and he is very much that, for lack of a better comparison, that His Girl Friday, Howard Hawks, super fast talking kind of guy, although he didn't do a ton of Hawks films. In fact, I'm sure there's probably one, but most of the films he did, I feel like, are not for Hawks, but he's still that kind of a guy. And so he's got a really interesting voice, and he's just very charming in his way and very funny. I don't know. I'm just a big fan of him. So him in combination with Lionel Atwill and Fay Wray, who obviously would team up again in this, they had a chemistry, I guess, and became kind of a duo in some senses. But anyway, so this has a ton of great stuff. So this has the separately filmed black and white version. It's not like desaturated. It's actually shot much like the Dracula Spanish version, a separate version of the movie shot in black and white. And then you have the gorgeous, 2-strip Technicolor, which emphasizes the reds and the greens. So you get real color, but it's a little skewed one way. It still looks fantastic, though. I really can't. If you were impressed with the 2-strip on Wax Museum, you will be equally impressed with the 2-strip here. Okay, so it has the black and white version, and then apparently that hasn't been around for a long time. It says unavailable for 30 years. And then this featurette, the horror films of Michael Curtiz, and I want to say that has like Alan K. Rode and some other film historians talking about Curtiz and his horror films, and they obviously emphasize these two. They also talk about one called The Walking Dead with Boris Karloff, which I have not seen, and which I do hope is maybe in the works for a Blu-ray. I have no evidence of that, except that it's in this little documentary, and it'd be cool to get a third Michael Curtiz horror film on Blu-ray. I love Curtiz. I think he just is one of those craftsmen, one of those consummate professional filmmakers that is so good at what he does and inspired so many. I know Scorsese's a big fan, and you can see why. I mean, the guy, if he's not moving the camera, he's framing things in a really cool way, like just finding not necessarily a canted angle, but an angle that gives 3 dimensions to the image. And he's always got some style to everything he does. Like, he's just really a sharp filmmaker, and I've come to appreciate him more and more and more the more I've gotten away from, the Casablancas of the world and the Adventures of Robin Hoods of the world. And I adore both of those films, but he did so much more, and he always shows himself to be fantastic. So anyway, this is a really cool, kind of monster movie. It's I'm trying to see if you can, now they don't give away too much here, but there's some really cool makeup stuff in this, and just a general vibe that I really dug. Like, it's just a really good, dark and brooding energy, the same kind of thing that this has in a way. And they really do go well together. Like, so I can't not suggest that you pair Dr. X and Mystery of the Wax Museum. You have to do it. Let's see here. What else do we have? So we have, there's the before and after restoration reel, commentaries by Alan K. Rohde and Scott McQueen, head of preservation at UCLA Film and Television Archive. That's 2 separate tracks, not them together. So you get 2 commentaries, and the thing on the Curtiz horror films, which is great. So really well put together and nicely stacked disc that goes great with the transfers and the extras from Wax Museum. So you got to put those 2 together. I would also recommend, just as a nicely put together Warner Archive Blu-ray set. Obviously, this is a different era. This is 1950 something, 57 for The Curse of Frankenstein. This came out recently, but I thought now would be a good time to plug it again. This is it includes the 185:1 and 166:1 versions, restored and remastered from 4K scans, and audio commentary from Steve Haberman and filmmaker Konstantin Nasser. And then the second disc has like a whole bunch of stuff. I think I've talked about this one on the channel briefly, but there's a 137:1 open matte version, also restored and remastered from 4K. Resurrection Men, Hammer Frankenstein and the Rebirth of the Horror Film, Hideous Progeny, The Curse of Frankenstein and the Gothic Tradition, Torrents of Light, The Art of Jack Asher, the cinematographer, I believe, and Diabolus in Musica, James Bernard and the Sound of Hammer Horror. So like a lot of really nice features that are all brand new for this disc. And Warner Archive, I love the transfers, and I know the big complaint you might get from collectors is they don't do enough extras, but I say when they do, reward them. So if you're into classic horror and good special editions, grab these 3, okay? Grab Dr. X, grab Mystery of the Wax Museum, and grab Curse of Frankenstein. All right, next up. It's been great to see these coming out. We're on the 3rd Thin Man movie. This is another Thin Man, and this is from 1939. Based on a story by Dashiell Hammett and directed by W.S. Van Dyke, who directed 4 of the 6 Thin Man movies. And I do hope we get the other 3, maybe by the end of 2021. Here's hoping. But this one is a delight, and I absolutely loved my revisit. In fact, it's been really great that these have been coming out. I've got to pair them with the other ones. So I've got After the Thin Man here, and I've got the original Thin Man here. So just having watched this recently and then now this, I'm in this very wonderful Nick and Nora Charles frame of mind, if you will. And it's just a really fun place to be because I don't know, there's something about the joy with which they hang out that is so infectious and so marvelous to watch. And the fact that, they solve these mysteries too. It's like there's a sense of everything's going to be okay, I guess, which is something I think a lot of us need right now. And so if you're into these older movies and you haven't checked out the Thin Man movies, definitely check out Another Thin Man, After the Thin Man, and of course the original. All look great on Blu-ray. The black and white is just gorgeous. Let's see, this one says, Dumb, wacky, creeps, fingers. They're just a few of the hoodlums in the world of amateur sleuths and professional bon vivants, Nick and Nora Charles. And now there's a new hood, Parenthood. Oh yeah, this is of course the first film where they have a kid. So it says, a birthday, make that birthday party that some of Du Bois hold for infant Nick Jr. is part of the fun in this third film in the witty series. The case begins when Charles' family arrives for a weekend with a Long Island industrialist who fears someone wants to kill him. Sure enough, his fears come true. A little Knives Out energy. I'm not saying it's a direct influence or anything, but now when I see that sort of scenario, it's hard for me not to think about how it couldn't be maybe something that influenced, but probably not. Sure enough, his fears come true. Nick is among the suspects. Asta scrams with what may be the murder weapon, and Nora has her own ideas about the case and sneaks off to a nightclub to ferret out a clue. Madam, how long have you been leading a double life? Nick asks. Just since we've been married, she replies. That sums it up. It's really just them solving the case of this guy's murder, and it's complicated. Like, I gotta admit, like, I might have to watch it again because I was watching it and I was paying attention. I'm sure everybody that's gonna comment below will be like, oh, I thought it was perfectly straightforward. But I do find that I really enjoy the details of these, Dashiell Hammett-based stories. There's a lot of moving parts, if you will, a lot of motives, a lot of people to keep track of, and a lot of possible suspects. So that's always fun. And this is another great entry. So like I said, watch them together. They are delicious. The Thin Man movies. Okay. And then lastly, we have Broadway Melody of 1940. This is from 1940. This stars Fred Astaire and Eleanor Powell. And it is, again, I used the word delightful, I think, already in this video, but this is equally delightful. Just a wonderful musical. It says, The Job, a career breakthrough, is supposed to go to hoofer Johnny Brett, but a mix-up in names gives it to his partner. Another example of Broadway hopes dashed, not when Johnny is played by Fred Astaire. Sparkling Cole Porter songs, clever comedy, and dance legends Astaire and Eleanor Powell make the final Broadway Melody, co-starring George Murphy, a film to remember. Powell's nautical I Am the Captain and Astaire's blissful I've Got My Eyes on You are more than enough to please any fan, but they're just a warm-up for what the leads to tap one number into immortality, Begin the Beginning, introduced by Frank Sinatra in That's Entertainment, with You Can't Wait Around and Hope, but you'll never see the likes of this again. Or it says you can wait around and hope. Anyway, so yes, and they're right about all those things. This is really just a delight of a movie, and I think for me, if you're into classic cinema, Fred Astaire, you've seen him in stuff like Top Hat, and I gotta recommend Swing Time. It's out there, it's on Blu-ray, it's a good movie to go with this. And so you probably know Ginger Rogers, who is one of my all-time favorites. I absolutely adore her, and talk about a talented, incredible dancer. Ginger Rogers and Fred Astaire, that is magic in cinema. And Eleanor Powell is the same way. Like, she is incredibly talented as well. Just a dynamo to watch. And I feel like she gets a little bit overlooked because some of the musicals she did were not quite as high profile as some of the ones that, say, Ginger Rogers did or Sid Charisse did. And so thus I feel like some people don't know who Eleanor Powell is, but boy, this movie will introduce you in the best possible way. Those numbers that they called out on the back there, the water number, I Am the Captain, is a great one. I've Got My Eyes on You, equally great. And yeah, Begin the Beginning is whatever. It's really a showstopper in every sense of the word. And so this is a black and white musical. It looks glorious. They just did another killer job with the transfer. A lot of these are black and white films, and I got to say, if you don't yet have an acquired appreciation for black and white in high def Blu-ray, I hope it comes around, because for me, that's one of my favorite things to look at. I love to look at eye-popping colors and set design and things like that and detail, but black and white and the grain of it and the flash of anything that's happening in terms of the black or the white, the way it mixes, and I can't even, I'm getting all unable to describe how I feel about it, but I absolutely love it. And this one looks great. So like I said, you could watch Swing Time with it. And I should mention before I move on, this has a couple features. It has Ann Miller hosts Cole Porter in Hollywood, Begin the Beginning, and Our Gang short, The Big Picture, as well as an MGM cartoon, The Milky Way. So you get that sort of night out at the movies business. So yeah, Swing Time definitely. And I feel like I've talked about this too, but another Broadway kind of thing, you've got 42nd Street, which is a really great, also black and white musical. That's the other reason I thought it'd be fun to pair with Broadway Melody of 1940 is it's black and white, and it also looks fantastic on this Blu-ray. Anyway, so that's some new Warner Archive Blu-rays and some things that you could pair with them. Let me know if you're planning to pick any of these up or if you're excited about any upcoming Warner Archive releases. I'd love to hear about that as well. So thank you so much for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel if you're into this, and I will talk to you very soon. Bye-bye.